Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
Hi everybody, it's Rain, and I am going to do my makeup while I talk about some stuff. Now, I am really sorry that I've been absent for 1,000 years, but a lot of things in my life have happened. Mainly, I was in a relationship for about 4 months, and it was really cute until it wasn't. So that's what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about how you really should pay attention to red flags before it becomes more of a nightmare than you can handle. I'm not gonna say that it's a bad thing to meet people on Tinder, but he said that he wanted an actual, committed relationship. Like, he either wanted a girlfriend or a best friend. And from my personal experience, that's not what you find on Tinder. You find people to sleep with. So that should have been, red flag number 1. But I thought, well, maybe this guy is just a shy sweetheart that doesn't really know how dating works. Now, that is true. He doesn't know how dating works. And that is because I am the first girl that he's ever dated. Which is red flag number 2, by the way. I'm 20 years old. This guy was 2 years older than me. And if you've gone that long without anybody being like, yeah, you're pretty cool, I'll go on a date with you, and I'll go on another date with you, and another one, and another one, I feel like that's a red flag. I feel like that might not be the best thing on earth. So that's another thing. First date went fine. Second date went fine. Third date went fine, etc., etc. Another thing is that he called me as a girlfriend directly after our first date, which is yikes. But, it goes how it goes. Things started to get a little bit hairy about a month into it. About a month into it, I was like, okay, so you've been doing this for a month. What exactly are we looking for here? Like, what do you want? What do I want? Just so that I know what I'm going to be doing with my time, right? And I swear to God, he says, well, I really like you and I like spending time with you, but I don't see this relationship lasting longer than a couple of months. And I hope that we're gonna be friends after we break up. Now, pray tell, but I personally don't think that that's the nicest fucking thing to say to somebody when you're dating them. Now, please keep in mind, he told me that he really loved me before and after this conversation. So, is that what you say to somebody that you love? I don't think so. But that's besides the point. And then time passes by. He's rude as hell to my friends. He's very judgmental. I tell him that I smoke weed. He damn near has a panic attack right in the middle of the Korean restaurant that we're at. I tell him that I have a crude sense of humor and that I'm really sassy. And he's like, well, that's something that I'm gonna have to get used to. And I'm like, bruh, no, don't. Like, I get it, you're this Ivy League spoiled brat, but I don't got nothing to do with that, frankly. And he's boring, so boring. He doesn't want to do anything but play video games on his computer and screw me and go to bed. Which, you know, I tried my best to be a part of for the months that we were together. I really did. But it reached a point where I just wanted more. He never wanted to go anywhere after dark. He never wanted to just be a human being with me. And it really hurt my feelings because I was like, well, are you not my boyfriend? Like, what is the deal? Like, and one of my friends, this is one of the things where I was like, okay, like, this breakup has to come soon. He told me directly to my face in front of one of my friends that he thought said friend was like hot. Like, he didn't say pretty, he didn't say cute, he said hot. And we were both like, okay. That's what normal people do, right? No. And then, like, you know, like when you're friends with people, you tend to like roast them because you're friends. And, you know, we were, you know, lightheartedly poking fun at each other and also him. And the moment that we got to like poking a little bit of fun at him, he stood up and made this whole big scene and he was like, you know, I don't have to take this. And then, you know, my friend was like, well, then you don't have to. Go home. But then I was like, well, you know, I want to spend time with my boyfriend. Like, let's try and see if I can convince him to stay here. So I reach out to like grab him, like hold his hand, and he like pulls his arm like this, like all the way away from me. And I'm like, well, fuck you too. You know, like what kind of rude asshole? It was ridiculous. And then one of the last conversations that we had, I was just like sat and I was trying to explain to him like, you know, maybe instead of coming to your house every single day, or not every single day, like every single time we see each other, I'm at his house, right? And I'm like, well, maybe you can come to my block every once in a while. And he was like, well, I'll try, but it's like dirty and I don't like it. And I'm like, well, I can't help where my fucking dorm room is, so excuse the hell out of me. And I was like, well, could you be more like emotionally intimate with me? And then he was like, well, you have anxiety and you need to figure out like when something is an emergency. And I'm like, oh, that's the game we're playing. Really? I need to control a mental illness that's for the most part uncontrollable. But you're allowed to disrespect my friends and basically tell me to my face that I'm not worth more than a handful of months of your time. And like, is that really what we're gonna do? Is that what we're doing here? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And after that conversation, I let him pay for my sushi, and then 3 days later, I told him it was over. Just like that. Because what kind of asshole says such a thing? Moral of the story is don't be like me. When a guy says, I don't see this lasting for more than a handful of months, you say, well, it's over right now because if I'm only temporary to you, then you're temporary to me. So, goodbye and good riddance, frankly. And do you want to know what else? I really do hope that he, finds somebody and, someone who's actually suited for him. You know, just some girl that's like, I'm perfectly happy having a mediocre boyfriend. I'm happy with a guy that just wants to play video games and, subtly disrespect his parents and, tell his parents what to do. Like, he's the grown one. And I hope he finds someone who's just as clueless as he is. And I hope that they get married and have a bunch of babies. And I hope I find somebody, frankly, who's worth my fucking time. Because that's 4 months of my life that I'm never gonna get back, ever. But it did teach me a lot. It taught me that, for the most part, I am genuinely happier when I'm single. Or at the very least, I'm happier when I'm not getting treated like garbage. The real thing that was like, I have to break up with this fucking guy, outside of that conversation where he insulted me for being mentally ill, is I was on the phone with him when I was hanging out with my friends because two of my friends just started dating and they were getting all cute and cuddly with each other. I love this palette, by the way. Look at that Morphe. But they were getting all cuddly and I was like, I have people who love me too. And I call him and he talks about himself for 5 whole minutes. And then he's like, well, I've run out of things to say, so I'm gonna say goodbye right now. And I was like, okay, bye. And then, this is also a really nice palette. And then I just hang up and I sit there for a couple seconds. And two of my friends are like, hey, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And then one of them asked, like, are you sure? And then I just break down sobbing. Like, it was the most pathetic moment of my whole life. And then I realized that I felt lonelier after that phone call than before. And my dude friend that was there was like, you do not need to be in a relationship with somebody who's going to make you cry like this. Like, you need to get out of there, sweetie. You are such a good person and you deserve so much more than this fucking guy. And it's like, you know what? You're damn right I do. Damn right I do. So I left. And you guys should do the same thing. Like, you guys don't be like me. Being single and happy is so much better than being miserable in a relationship. I have a lot of love in my heart and I want to give it to people, but that doesn't mean that I have to give it to someone who doesn't deserve it. I need to give my love to my friends and I need to give my love to myself. And you do too. Don't let our society make you believe that you need to, like, you're required to be with somebody. And I'm not saying that, like, love is dead or whatever, but what I am saying is that, maybe love needs to take a bit of a breather. bit of a break. This is Maybelline Great Lash, by the way. Iconic mascara of the world, of course. So, you know, that's pretty much it. I have met like other people, by the way. I met this one guy off of Bumble. He's really cool, smokes a lot of pot, kind of a hustler. Little bit on the quiet side, but he likes me and I like him. And we don't talk often per se, but when we do, it's always nice. And I feel like that's what I need right now. Just, we don't talk often, but when we do, it's nice. And one of my friends wants to set me up with one of his friends, who is a woman. And it's been a very long time since I've dated a girl. And I feel like maybe that's what I need as well. Just reign lawless, date a woman challenge. Maybe that should be my 2019. Just outside of that one dude who I still want to like hook up with before I make a decision on him, maybe I should, you know, just be with women. Because women are great, aren't they? Women are so good. But, you know, moral of the story is don't be like me. Don't date a fucking weirdo just because you don't think you can do better, because I promise you can. This dude really was such a weirdo too. I should make a whole separate video on just how fucking weird he was, because he really was so bizarre. But, you know, I don't want to bully the guy because he's so fragile. But, you know, and like, once again, I don't want anything bad to happen to him. Like, he's not a bad person. He just has to figure it out. And frankly, I'm not gonna be the one that helps him figure it out, because that's not my job. I have better things to do than help a grown man be a grown man. And honestly, that should be the main takeaway of this video. It is not your job to help a grown man be a grown man. That's what it really is. So, ladies, what are we gonna do in 2019? We're gonna love ourselves. We're gonna love our bodies. And we're not gonna let any sort of snot-nosed prick tell us what to do. That's what it really is. And honestly, if your ex is as bad as mine, stay single for a while. Don't let being lovesick cloud your judgment. Anyways, my name is Rainy Day, and I'll see you again soon. Peace and love.